Hello, hello. Coming to you very tired this Sunday evening. Having gone to a late night sauna party last night, which was kind of fun. Did a Tummo meditation exercise, which is what the Tibetan monks do to store like fire within themselves, create heat. Anyway, it's similar to some of the kind of stuff in the Wim Hof method. And long story short, I passed out. It was kind of funny. I just remember doing these intense breathing exercises, and then next thing I remember, I was like sort of dazed, like having like fallen over. I was sat down, so I was just like flailing like this, and I snapping about a bit. I was like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I just passed out. Anyway, in other news, how's my week been in general? I've come back from Ethiopia. The honeymoon is still in effect, but rapidly fading. It's amazing how quickly you slip into old habits, London vibe and whatnot. I've got to say that I'm not feeling 100% content with my situation living in London. The whole, I don't know. Part of me feels like some extended time in nature or doing something very different is in order. Just taking 1 or 2 weeks here and there just isn't enough. I think I want to go deep in life. I want to really go for it. Not just plodding along, taking holidays here and there and kind of having some fun experiences. But to really go for it. In any case, this week, so I had a plan, the pillars of which were, let's go through them and see how I fared. 1, nature, spent 30 minutes in nature every day. I did that was good. I did a lot of gardening this week. My garden looks way better. This actually looks really neat now. It's a pleasure to be there. I really enjoyed the gardening. 2 is the fasting. 2 days this week I just did no eating, no spending, no phone before 5 p.m. Well, actually, sorry, no eating before 5 p.m, no phone and no spending all day. Really enjoyed those days, actually. They worked really well. They were fantastic resets. It was really, they're really helpful in spotting my attachment to my desires and letting go of them. I think that this kind of thing will start to infiltrate my life a little more. In terms of the diet generally, however, on Friday I spoke about this in a previous video, but I didn't stick 100% to plan because I had a big walk planned on Saturday. And on Friday I was absolutely starving post-fast, and I was like, I'm not going to have any energy tomorrow, so I shuffled some things around, ate more in advance, but this was not in accordance with my vow. And so from then I decided that I will stick with my vow in terms of food consumption. Stimulants, I didn't take any stimulants this week. I think this was obviously helpful. I think as a result, actually, my sleep needs seems to have been quite lower than they were before. I slept through the night pretty well. I've also been sitting more, Zazen. I think this was a result of me speaking with Mike Cross, my Zen teacher, about sitting, and he was mentioning how he used to sit 5 hours a day when he was my age, and I was like, when you're sitting an hour and a half, it feels like, that's more than anyone I know, but you were sitting 5 hours a day. This obviously ignited some kind of competitive streak in me. Not to beat him, but just to be like, I can up it. Because Zazen, I do just think the sitting meditation is a gift that the more time you put into it, the more it will give back in your life. I really believe that so strongly. So I've been sitting more like 1 hour 45 this week. Let's continue that. Actually, next week, let's sit a minimum. Let's up it by 5 minutes a week. I want to get it to 2 hours a day. Yeah. This week, minimum 1 hour 50 per day. Fit it into work where possible. Sit longer in the mornings if needed. Yes, we'll make this work. Okay. And the other pillar of my plan was speaking. I wanted to practice doing my videos every day. I did this, practiced doing my speech, practiced on some friends. I've got a talk coming up next week. How did that go? My talk, I think there's some good stuff in there. But I haven't completely got it laid out yet, if I'm honest. It's going to need a bit more work this week. Yeah. So I performed it, practiced it twice, and both times it was completely different. I haven't really been sort of freestyling. I think this freestyling stuff kind of works somewhat well for in the momentness, but in other respects lends itself a little bit towards messiness and repetition of ideas. So this week coming up, what's the plan? We're going to tighten up that speech and nail it. We've got a speech happening on Sunday. Let's practice that. Just focus on that. Sit 1 hour 50 a week. Stick with the plan. Stick with the fasting. And this week, because I want to be on my game on Sunday for the talk. Let's keep excitement to a low. Sleep well. Exercise. Exercise, man. I had to go for a conference this week on Thursday and Friday, so it meant I didn't go to the gym on those days. So I've only worked out twice this week, which was disappointing coming back from 2 weeks off. Let's go a few times this week. I feel my weights is actually, the weight training seems to have lost a little bit of its fire. Need to dig deep around that. I think that's a topic for a future video. Cool. I think that's all I'm going to talk about for now. Tomorrow I want to have a conversation about why not just become a monk. That would be a really interesting video.